What's happening, guys? Spurs Talk Show back here again for another one with my dog Bugsy Malone. Hey Bugs, what do you think about the Champions League, Bubba? What do you think, Bugsy? Think we got a good draw? Yeah? You like that? She's not saying much. She was all talkative about it earlier on. Earlier on, she couldn't shut up. She was like, how the hell did we get that bad boy of a group? How do you feel about it, guys? How do you feel about it? We did a show yesterday. The initial reaction was you probably couldn't have picked a much better group, even if you had your choice of teams from each pot. You know, I don't think that Frankfurt are going to be quite as good. I think their season hasn't started as well as it did last year. I think I can't remember the details, but I think they lost a game. Marseille as well. Didn't really recognise many of the players in the Marseille team when I looked at their squad. Sporting Lisbon, I think, is one that's an interesting tie. I don't think we've ever played Frankfurt or Lisbon in competitive football. That's what I heard from somebody, which will be brilliant for away days. I personally won't be going to Marseille. No disrespect to anyone who's from Marseille, but I've not heard it's the best environment for away fans and English people. You know, so I don't know, wear a stab vest or something. Yeah, look, for me, I think it was a really fortuitous draw. No easy games, certainly no easy games, but it's favourable. You'd rather be in Group D than Group C. Who was in that? Barcelona, Bayern, Inter, and then Pilsner from Prague. That's a tough one. That's a tough one indeed. I think Barcelona might be the team that gets kicked out of that group. That's a real tough one to pick. Liverpool get a favourable draw as well. Same old Liverpool. But look, for me, I think it's the offshoot of the draw might be meaningful for our transfer targets and what our plans are with that. You know, I've seen a lot of people in a lot of WhatsApp groups that I'm in asking the question like, where's the money? Where's the money gone? We haven't spent anywhere near as much money as we should have had or could have had or would have had. What's going on? Is it all a big Levy smokescreen? I don't know. We've only taken 100 million of the tranche of the injection of cash. There's another 50 million that could be taken. But so there's that that's there. But I think that maybe, just maybe, there's a bit more of a long sight that's happening here. I think that Conte's probably looking at, and this I'm just speculating, that Conte's maybe looked at that Champions League draw, and had it been difficult, had it been more difficult, a lot more difficult like it could have been, then maybe we pursue some targets with more aggression than we might do now. I just feel like Conte might look at those three teams and think we can get through that group with the squad that we have. If players leave, we've already heard him say, if players leave, other players have to come in. So if Brian Hill leaves, or if Pape Sarr leaves on loan, or if Tanganga leaves, then obviously we would probably expect to see players coming in. But if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised if we stick with what we got, because whilst we have 20 games in the next 70 days, give or take, between now and the break for the World Cup, which is 2 games a week, every week, I just feel like maybe they're keeping their powder dry for January. and then we'll see where we are in January. Maybe the targets that they want aren't available, you know. And I'm okay. I'd love to see some communication. I don't expect to see anything because the club is under no requirement or responsibility to keep us fans, our expectations in check. Because the more information they give out, the more information they're offering to our competition, right? But I just think that, I don't know, I could be wrong, but for me, I just think that maybe they're looking at the situation and thinking, we've probably got enough, unless players leave, we're probably okay to get us through till January. And if that's how they see it, and they know more about the squad than we do, they know more about the cohesion, the unity, the harmony, they know more about what's happening on the training ground than us speculators in the YouTube community. And so if they're okay, if Conte's happy, we should be happy, right? That was the narrative all last year. What Conte wants, Conte gets. If Conte's happy, we're happy. Conte appears to be happy, at least for now. That's what he keeps saying. And I would rather us not go for the bridesmaid because we can't get the bride. Don't settle for second best. If you have your targets and you know the targets are available in the future but not now, Bastoni, Guardiola, whoever, then I'd rather keep our powder dry. As long as Conte thinks he can get the tune out of these players, you know. And to counter that opinion, I feel like the start of the season we're getting results but not performances. But if Conte thinks he's good, then we should be good. That said, I still think the window's been underwhelming. And yeah, the players that are being linked with us, none of them look like they're immediate first team players either. You know, I think most people, wherever you sit on the spectrum of Tottenham, of Levy, of ENIC, of whether you hope we can win something this year but you doubt it, or whether you expect us to win something this year, I think everybody would agree that last season's first 11 was at this level, whatever that level is, this level, and then the subs bench just dropped off massively. And what we've done is basically elevate the squad, elevate the bench to be a closer parallel to the first 11, but we haven't really improved the first 11, with the exception of maybe Basuma with Perisic. Everybody else is, at least thus far, about there or thereabouts as good as we were in the first 11 last year. Our first 11 doesn't really look better, and that's a little bit frustrating, I get it. But Conte seems happy. Are you happy? Let me know. Would you be happy with the window closing as it is if you knew categorically that Conte was content? And if the answer to that is no, then does that mean that you no longer feel, if you did it originally, that what Conte wants, Conte gets? If Conte's happy, I'm happy. Because I'm starting to get the kind of feeling that fans that were saying that stuff last season are starting to change their mind. They're starting to question why it is that Conte is okay with the right wing back situation. They're starting to question why it is that why we're not being linked with any centre backs. I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, share and subscribe, guys. We're going to go live in either a couple of hours tonight, or if not, tomorrow. Dave from the Irish Hotspur and I's show was supposed to be on yesterday, but it clashed with the Champions League draw, so we're going to do that tomorrow at 3 p.m, so check out that. Hit the notification bell, like, share and subscribe. As always, guys, bye bye.